Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Paul Westbrook's Cinema Picks of the Week. And I am your host, Paul Westbrook. Now, this being our 30th episode, believe it or not, this is our 30th video right now. And I got the movie for all of you today. 1939's Gone with the Wind, which, believe it or not, was made in the same year as Wizard of Oz, 1939. And it's one of the enduring classics of all time. And a lot of people have seen this movie just as much as Wizard of Oz, if not more. Now, while Wizard of Oz delved into the fantasy element of movies, this one was more of the drama. And for 3.5 hours, there's a lot of drama in it. The central characters are Scarlett O'Hara, as played by Vivien Leigh, and Rhett Butler, who was played by Clark Gable. There were a lot of other actors in it, like Olivia de Havilland, and there was also Leslie Howard, Hattie McDaniel, and Thomas Mitchell, just to name a few. But it's, like I said, one of the more enduring classics of all time. And it was the winner of 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture that year. So this is definitely a milestone in the history of cinema. Gone with the Wind is mainly about Scarlett and her family on the plantation, on the O'Hara plantation, and her love triangle with Ashley Wilkes, although Rhett Butler wants to enter the picture, and she doesn't really like Rhett Butler too much, but she's always chasing after Ashley Wilkes, who is married to Melanie Hamilton, who was played by Olivia de Havilland. And Scarlett, of course, ends up, as is on this cover, she ends up with Rhett Butler. And while she's not happy with him at first, they try to make a go of a marriage, but you figure that the marriage eventually is doomed. There's a lot of the thematic elements of the slave period, when people were keeping slaves on plantations. So for some people, this would actually be considered a racial type movie, much in the same vein almost as Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation, which was in 1915, and was the first movie to actually delve deep into a racial racial theme to it. The movie here is more or less about Scarlett's story. And like I said, she ends up in the marriage with Rhett. They have a child, and at the end, there's the classic line where she goes, "Oh, Rhett, where should I go? What should I do?" And then he looks at her and he says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." And then he walks out. Sorry, which is the famous ending of the movie. I hope I didn't spoil that for anybody, but I'm sure a lot of people have seen the movie by now, and have probably seen that famous ending by now. But Gone with the Wind, like Wizard of Oz, is an enduring classic. This is a movie that I recommend that anybody should see at least once, or maybe twice. And people like us that like it more than that, we could watch it about 20 times if we wanted to. But yes, Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz were two of the more enduring movies of their time, and definitely the most memorable ones. And George Cukor, who actually was on the movie The Wizard of Oz, he originally was on Gone with the Wind, but he had gotten fired because Clark Gable didn't like him. Yeah, that's a little anecdote there. Clark Gable didn't like him. They didn't get along on the set. And this film, believe it or not, was actually being filmed at the same time as Wizard of Oz. So he would go from the one set, he'd go to the other set, and then he'd come back, and they'd do work on it. And the thing is, while Wizard of Oz got the bomb, in other words, it didn't do very well at the box office in its opening premiere, Gone with the Wind was a classic almost immediately, based on the Margaret Mitchell novel Gone with the Wind. And there was a remake that was done, I think, in the 90s or early 2000s, and it was called Scarlet. And Timothy Dalton played the part of Rhett Butler, and Joanne Whalley-Kilmer played the part of Scarlet. So it was sort of the continuation of their story from this one. But if anybody likes these type of movies, just watch this one. Not really worry too much about Scarlet, because Scarlet didn't do very well, but Gone with the Wind is the one that you should watch, because if you want to learn a lot about big epic films, this is one of the major epics of its time. So, with that being said, that was Gone with the Wind. And again, I'd like to say thank you for supporting us for 30 videos so far. More to come. And once more, I have to plug this shirt here, my Paul's Cinema Picks t-shirt, which is in all different sizes. There's small, large, extra large. I'm an XXL, I believe. And the shirts are $20. So you have to talk to Steve Drummond. Steve Drummond is on Facebook, so you look him up, Stephen Drummond, and we can arrange something for you on a t-shirt. But again, let us know in the comments. Not only let us know about the show, let us know about the t-shirts, and then we can go from there. And then we can hear your comments, and your likes, your dislikes, all the stuff that we've advertised to you throughout all the videos that we've done so far. And then we look forward to reading them and hearing your input, and vice versa. But for now, this is Paul Westbrook saying goodbye and good night for now, and that I'll be seeing you at the movies. Good night, everyone.